everybody. Welcome to another week of Indie Inquiries, where each week we review Steam store pages and provide advice and critiques for indie developers. I am Josh Bycer from Game Wisdom, and joining me from Nexus Games is Sharky. How are you doing?
Doing great, and I'm definitely excited for one game in particular on our list. The first one.
Yep. We have one game that was submitted from developer. I know they are watching this live, and the other one came from my list. And we are always looking for submissions for future shows. So please reach out if you'd like us to assist you with your store page.
Yep. So let's get down to it.
We are beginning with Koboo the Tree Spirit. And what we have here, it looks like it's an action roguelite platformer. Oh, let me exit that out there. There we go. So, as always, let us begin with the thumbnail.
So the thumbnail, the font is really readable. The tree spirit is harder to see, but it's not as important. So I think it's proper there. There's a little leaf or something at the end of the K. And the reason why I say or something is because it's not that readable.
Yeah, it's kind of like pulled into the orbit of the shadowing of that K.
I would either remove it or find another way to make it readable, one way or the other. You know, I definitely appreciate the extra attempt on style there, but it's not readable at this point. So it's not really readable. So like, I don't know what to suggest there, but I would do something with it. I would address it in some kind of way. Definitely go and get your feedback on that and whatnot and try to refine it. I think the character looks really good. I think the character is really, really solid. I think the light from the glowing on its hand definitely draws your eyes there.
And the orb that he's holding, too.
But the issue is there's not very much triangulation here. There's technically a little bit, because you can kind of see the top 2 points of the character that kind of come over to the character and come back. There's just a slight triangulation there, but not really. It's more of a line here rather than a triangulation between the glowy bits. If you put some kind of glowy bit over here or something to draw your eye over here, something that brighter than this, that contrast with this background over in here by the O kind of thing. It doesn't even have to be fully on screen, but if you put something here, that would more give you a triangle kind of thing. But you ideally want something more contrasty down here too, because like, I mean, this hat on the character is pretty contrasty as well as the eyes and that, but there's not much contrasty down here. And you know, you're just kind of looking down the character to try to get that. So ideally, I would put something more contrasty down here as well as something more contrasty over here. But especially over here, this is the most important one.
And for people watching on my side, which parts are you talking about?
The part that by the O on the character, on the font, and down near the feet of the character.
Yeah. It's not a bad thumbnail. It just needs, I think, just a little bit more. So, grade-wise...
I'm taking A-.
I'm thinking in the B+ range.
Alright. So, let's move on to the trailer.
Alright, let me get this full screen.
In the middle.
We just have like an opening here. Cute little fish.
There's not a cold opening here. It's just right into the start. And then you're going into the bosses. There's no like build up kind of thing. It's just, you know, here's quiet, here's loud kind of thing.
It's very jerky to watch, like with like how the boss transitions are happening. We have a black screen for A few seconds, I think, a little too long.
Yeah. And this here, I have no idea what this is.
I think she stabbed that guy.
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, and then we have very long hold on the title, which then goes to the wish list.
Yeah. I what I don't like about this call to action is I would have liked this hold on the title to be faster, as well as I would like this to stay on screen once you build up to it, the title, instead of fading off, and have that be on this screen. You know, have this background rather than have the title fade off, have the background fade in, and have the wish list now on Steam pop in or fade in or something like that.
Yeah.
But like, is this a boss rush game? Because it doesn't say it's a boss rush game, but it feels like a boss rush game from this trailer.
Yeah. And if it's not, then I think the trailer may need some work here.
The trailer definitely needs some work either way.
And I find the cuts, like, it's good that you zoomed in or you didn't just use raw footage for the gameplay trailer, but it's very disorienting to watch just because of how, like, jerky it is during the combat.
Yeah. Let's go into some deep, trailer analysis here. First off, there's no code opening. There needs to be something at the beginning that gets you to get either hyped, like a boss fight, or something to make you laugh, or something. You've gotta emotionally appeal to the character. The character. You gotta emotionally appeal to the consumer in the first 5 seconds. There needs to be some kind of cold opening that like brings you in. And it's like you've got to finish watching this trailer.
Yeah,
you got to convince them in the first 5 seconds to keep on watching, and that's what a cold opening is.
Yeah, and the 5 second mark when he's like running towards the fox and he's hugging him and everyone's all happy, I think that would make for a far better cold opening than just him kind of parachuting down and walking to the right.
Better, but I don't think that. I think that would still be a bad cold opening. I think this would be I think what he's got here at the beginning, with the flying in and the going and hugging the fox, I think this is a good, I guess you'd call it the intro phase.
Mm-hmm.
So you have your cold opening, you have your intro, you have your middle, and then you have your climax. And then you have your call to action. And I think the, from, 0 seconds to like, where is it? Around 9 seconds. I think that makes a good intro, but again, you need a cold opening before that intro. But then there's no middle unless it's a boss rush, and it'd be very hard to have a middle.
I would also say it's kind of like
if it's a boss rush or not.
For a game like this, like a good climax would be either them beating a boss and you're showing like the boss's death animation or something like that, or the boss killing the player and you're seeing the character's death animation. Like usually one of those two is a good climax for like an action heavy game.
Well, you need a climax that's a lot bigger in one scene though, but I think this part starting at 9 seconds where they're showing several different bosses here would be good for a climax. But it's kind of long for a climax. And if you look here at the let's see here. It'd be easier to play it. So if you look right here, when you transition from one to another, right here at the 9-10 second mark, you see the character over here at like right at the end of this, and then you click over here, and your eye has to go from way over here to way over here because the player's eyes are going to track the character, and it's very disorientating. You want to splice your footage in so that the character is in a reasonably close position to the last one. It doesn't need to be in the exact same spot, but it needs to be within a reasonably close position so that your eyes can follow it. Because when you don't, you have the effect that Josh has of, what did you say?
Like disorienting.
Yeah, very disorienting.
And so, in terms of the grade for this, like Shark said, beginning needs some work. It needs a decent amount of work.
It needs a cold opening.
It doesn't have a climax.
Well, it has a climax. It's just kind of
there.
I don't know.
And then the end feels like a little disjointed between the title screen on the black page and then the wish list. Probably better to combine those two.
Yeah, and this part with the fade to black is just way too long. And
yeah,
this I have no idea what's going on here. This 30-second point at the end, 36-second, 37, 38, 39, all those 30 high 30s. Because we never seen this character, and we don't know this one. We don't know what happened there. I could make the assumption that this character is important and this character is important and this character died. Maybe this character killed it. I don't know, but that's the best assumption I can make. And let me tell you, the people who watch us are not going to be able to make nowhere near as good an assumption as I can.
Yeah.
So
grade wise,
mine is probably wrong.
So grade wise, what are you thinking? Like, I don't know if it's it's definitely on the B range.
Yeah, it's not an A or a B for sure.
Do you think there's enough issues to bring it down into the D, or do you think maybe like low C? Low to mid C?
I would say it's definitely in the D to C range. I am definitely leaning towards C minus.
Yeah, I feel like there's not enough bad to bring it down to a D, but yeah, I think C minus for me.
The structure is all over the place.
Yeah,
that's the main issue, I think, and the cuts are all over the place too.
Yeah.
Jerome, is this a boss rush game? Because I don't see any killing of normal enemies in here.
Yeah,
which would make it great for the middle if it has non-bosses.
Or the strategy elements, and we'll talk more about that when we get to the About This Game section. Alright, so
let's go on to the thumbnails.
And I think every one of these, except for maybe one, was featured in the trailer. Actually, let me see here.
If they aren't the same as in the trailer, they look close enough to be counted as that.
Yeah, like the one that was not in the trailer, I think, was the 6th one. And that's just like a different version of what is featured at the 8th second mark.
Yeah. So no screenshots, basically.
Yeah.
So that's a F minus. It is a boss rush. Okay. So then it's going to be very hard to have a middle section in there. You're going to have to try to find something to make it in there, because you don't want to go from intro to climax. You just that's really abrupt. You need some kind of middle ground in there. And it's it's going to be very, very hard on you to do that with a boss rush type game.
I have an idea for that, but we'll talk about that when we get to the next section. But yeah, like Shark said, no screenshots that are different from what's in the trailer. So yeah, this is an F minus for this.
Yeah, there's no screenshots here.
Alright, so let's go down to about this game. So we start with a custom banner, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
We have
unique,
a GIF that is of the
very
same boss.
and faster, I think.
Yeah, it looks like you put it on fast forward here, which makes it very jarring.
Yeah, and it's starting to give me a little bit of a headache when I'm like staring at it for too long, so I'm gonna like scroll down.
And the fact is it's the same boss, so like
Hmm.
it's almost like there's no GIF there. It's
And
just a migraine.
yeah, and the text does not match what's going on. Where it says
Yeah,
recruit unique combination of spirit animals, give you a fresh set of abilities. I see nothing of that. And
yeah. We
that's
see a
like
boss.
the downtime or the planning of like how you set things up would be, I think, good for the middle of the trailer as well. Like, give the player a little bit more meat as to what this game's going to be about before you hit them with the climax of, fighting the bosses, dying, living, that kind of thing.
Unless you do that for your code opening.
Yeah. Befriend, take care of plants. So this GIF is the same as the one that's in the trailer. And again, there's text here, take care of plants in the forest. I'm seeing nothing of that.
Well, this is giving you the befriending animals thing.
Yeah. But
This one's
nothing
more
about
acceptable because it's repeating, but it's actually going with this with the befriending animals kind of thing. But I would make sure it was a different animal, not this same fish that's in the trailer.
yeah, and
It needs a shark right here.
and the
Jerome.
big problem with this page is that you're describing things that I am not seeing anywhere on this page. I have seen nothing about abilities, I've seen nothing about upgrades or persistent elements, and that is not good. So we go to master your skills, and this is again what Shark was saying in the trailer, that you have the first part of the skit that shows the guy on the left, and then the second part shows him on the right. It's very disorienting.
Yeah, you're teleporting here.
What would probably be a little bit better would be
Is
to
if you
have
just
the
cut off
character.
that end part.
What was that?
If you just cut off that end part with the second boss fight.
Or
Or if he, did a different fight where you kept him on the same side of the
like have him attacking on the left on a boss, and then do like a transition to another boss, but have him still on that side. So it looks like he's like attacking into like multiple enemies, kind of thing.
unless you see that character, from the first one cross to the other side. Either way, wherever the character is before you cut, when you cut in the next clip, it should have a character in a very close spot.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's just jarring.
So make sure that
But again, these are the same two bosses that we've already seen. So I mean, this is also sort of like a non-GIF. There's no GIF kind of thing.
Yeah. My stream is live, right? Because I'm seeing like very little people on my side. Right?
Yeah.
Wonder where everyone is.
There's El Gordo.
Alright.
And then you have Discover Secrets, which is again something right here from the trailer. And
this is Koboo the tree spirit.
I don't see a secret here. I don't see unless the secret's down the barrel of her gun,
Or the black screen.
Yeah, or the black screen.
Yeah.
And this black screen is kind of jarring too.
And we have open development. I like the Discord banner. You have a link.
That's the thing about content is you don't want to stretch it. Not in a store page, because you would rather have something shorter that isn't stretching it.
Oh, we're competing with E3, that's why.
Huh?
We're competing with E3, that's why there aren't a lot of people watching this live.
All the people watching the roadmaps.
Yeah. So,
but like the not having much content done yet, that's understandable. But you need to not gimp your store page because of that. Just make shorter stuff.
Yeah.
You don't have to show off as much, but in each thing, just make things shorter.
Yeah.
It's better to have a short length than overextending yourself.
Yeah. And again, like the big red flag for me for this whole page is that you're describing systems and elements that I am not seeing at all anywhere on it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to have elements, outside of this boss combat and, fishing, I need to see that. You want the player to know that there is meat on the bones. I mean, you can type 5 paragraphs describing your game. That doesn't mean that stuff is in your game. We need to actually see it.
Yep. I do love the little custom Discord banner. I do like that you made this a link as well as provide a blue text link out here.
Yeah.
So that makes very clear that even if they're not sure they can click on the banner, they know they can click on this.
Yeah.
And like you could have done a custom banner here, but that would have ran into the same problem as this. So like I think the blue text is a perfect choice here. I think that is the perfect choice here.
Mm-hmm. So overall,
I think this is not going to be a good grade, but I think that very little can be done to this to change this into a very good grade.
Yeah.
And that would be changing out the GIFs to an appropriate GIF that matches what you're saying, as well as does not, repeat what's exactly
or cause eye strain when you're staring at it for too long.
Yeah. New GIFs, and I think this would, that are proper would, I think, get this an A. But the way it is right now, I am definitely not seeing an A. I'm not even seeing a B.
Yeah, I'm thinking C minus C for me.
Yeah, I'm thinking C minus. It's those GIFs just really bring it down. I think you could have had no GIFs and gotten about the same grade.
Yeah.
Just with the custom banners. I meant the custom banners and the custom Discord link. I mean, and just delete all the banners, and you could probably still get the same grade.
Yeah. And again, once you have something, again, I don't know where the game is in terms of development, but once you have kind of the persistent elements or supplemental systems in the game, I would want to see that in the trailer, in the screenshots, on this About This Game page. Because there really isn't a lot here that you're showing the player. And that is not going to help sell this game.
Exactly.
So, let's go to the title card. We have 3 genre tags, action, adventure, indie, which is good. I would probably put single player in as well. Again, you can't... Like, when it comes to genre tags, the more the better. Yeah. We want to see at least... Like, what would you say, Shar? You think, 3 is the minimum for genre tags?
3 is the minimum.
Yeah.
4 is recommended. Anything above that is amazing, but not possible in all games.
Yeah. So
4 is not possible in all games, but,
at least 3.
3 is the very minimum, and 4 is recommended, and... if you can do 5 that fit, then do it,
Yeah.
If you can do 8 that fit, do it.
Alright, so we have developer, publisher, franchise. We have a website. We have Twitter, which you have messages open. You have your YouTube channel. Like, the only thing that I would add to this is that you have your Discord link all the way down here. It would probably be good to put that in the title card as well.
Yeah, it would definitely be a good thing. I wouldn't penalize you for it, but I'm not going to give you bonus points for it either, because you don't have it in here, obviously.
I mean, title card is pretty much there. I mean, nothing hurts it. Only things we would really say would be just to add more to it, or literally just add one genre tag. So.
Or more if you could.
Yeah.
And if you added another genre tag or more, and you put your Discord in here, this would be an A+.
Yeah. I'm thinking, what do you think, A- for it?
Yeah, I'm thinking A- right now.
Yeah.
So not much, and you can definitely up that to an A+.
So The bad news is you got your highest grade on the lowest point, or the less impactful point of the store page.
Yeah, the most of your grade comes from the trailer. The second most comes from your thumbnail.
Yeah.
Third
So,
comes from your screenshots.
and Jerome said he was ready for the roasting, so I guess it's time for that.
What do you mean it's time for that? I mean, we've already started that.
Well, it's time for the final cut then. So, thumbnail we gave that a B plus, I think, or
Yeah.
B plus A minus. Trailer we gave that a C minus, and everything else kind of went down from there.
The thumbnails were an F.
Yeah, and About This Game was a C
Definitely.
minus.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, you are not going to be getting a B or even a B minus. I don't think there's enough wrong to take this down to a D. I'm thinking C minus C for the page overall. What about you?
Somewhere in that range, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I think I'd go C minus. I would have gone C or C plus if it was not for the screenshots.
Yeah. Like, again, like, this is an example of a page that has a lot of good elements to it, but the things that are distracting or detracting from it are really bringing the grade down.
Mm-hmm. And like the aesthetics are on point, but we're not grading on that. But like, I definitely like the aesthetics and everything.
Yeah. Again, we can't review store pages on gameplay. We can only review on what we're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So trailer needs to be worked on. The About This Game definitely needs to be worked on.
Yeah, you need to have this GIF down here. You need to have one with a shark here, where you're befriending the shark.
Yeah. Although, would that be considered bribing one of the judges for the show? Yeah. So definitely interested in this game as a fan of, again, well, we get an action-based game, but here's a little bit of a bonus thing. The description from what you're saying feels kind of off. An action roguelike platform with strategy and RPG elements. I'm not really seeing the roguelite, I'm not really seeing the platformer, and I'm definitely not seeing the strategy and RPG elements.
And you said it was a boss rush, and I'm not. Yeah. There's nothing about boss rush in here.
Yeah.
And there definitely needs to be something about boss rush in here, if it is a boss rush.
Yeah.
Because there's also not very many these user-defined tags, and you definitely need to add more of these.
Yeah.
You there's probably a few hundred of these that you could add.
Mm-hmm.
So
and yet,
add away.
If your game is a boss rush, you gotta mention it, because I can use my psychic powers to predict that people in the forums are gonna be complaining, saying this isn't an action game, it's a boss rush. Why is this not labeled a boss rush? All I'm doing is fighting bosses, and so on and so on.
Yeah, people will definitely complain about that.
Yeah, so you do want to mention that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I mean, like, I don't know the game, but these tags just don't seem to fit what you got. But what I'm seeing here. But so maybe look into that. I don't know. But again, I haven't played it. I'm not developing it.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. Mean, this part definitely seems to fit, though.
Okay, so with that, are you ready to move on to our next game?
Yes.